This is the most famous position all of king and pawn endgames. Learn this. Don't run away from it. Okay, you're going to get this position, and someone's going to tell you, is white winning or is this a draw? And the answer is, as long as the pawn is between B and G, there are winning chances. If it's her A or an H pawn, you will find out in a few minutes why that's basically always a draw, as long as the defending king is close. Of course, it's also important to note, if the king is like over here, it's a very easy win. So first things first, the defending side is at least close to the pawn, and really in front of it is the most important. We're going to start with it being black's move in this position. Right now, white has played the move king to e3 and is doing something called opposition to the black king. That means you're opposing the black king, you are staring straight out, you're saying, make a move, do something. So the winning technique here, if it's black's move, white is winning. And we'll learn in a few minutes why, if it's white's move, it's a draw. So the black king will give way to the white king. If the black king goes straight back, then we continue to march the king down and implement the same technique that you're about to learn. So let's say the king gives way. We now do something called outflanking. We move our king out of the way to take control of these squares, to open the path for our... Again, if the black king ends up on a square to try to see our pawn, we do opposition again. If the king just goes straight back, cardinal sin of this endgame, your pawn should never be side by side with your king, and definitely not in front of it. Like, almost never side by side, and definitely not in front. Your king will escort the pawn. It is this security escort to your pawn. Do not march the pawn in front of your king. You won't win. What you need to do is continue to create a little bit of distance for this pawn. Side defense by black never works, because again, now you can push, and the king cannot get back in time. Now you put... Hey, I know it's a check. I said nothing side by side, right? King escorts. It's about controlling the squares, ensuring a safe passage of the pawn to the end of the board. So side defense is not a thing. Now, when you can push your pawn is as long as it's still behind the king. Okay? Still behind the king. Why? Because now another opposition. If the second the king looks at our pawn, we say, no way. If the king goes here, we outflank in the other direction to maintain the squares here. Side defense is not a thing. All right? And we can do the exact same thing here. We can push and then get in front, or even we can just go like this. This is the most